Hello everybody, and thank you so much for joining me on this my YouTube anniversary. That's right, today, the day I upload this video anyway, 1 year ago was the day I uploaded my first video for this new planner endeavor that I had decided to embark on. This is not to say I didn't have a YouTube channel before. I had one a long time ago where I did just silly random things that were not really aligned with my personality. I was trying to be like a YouTube star in 2009, except it was like 2011, so I was a little late. Anyway, so I am here today to talk about my planning system because a year ago when I made my first video, oh crap, I should have gotten that one. Hang on just a sec. When I made my first planner video, this was the planner I was using. It is kind of a standard small planner. I don't know what the size is. Is there a name for it? No. It's just this planner from Barnes & Noble. I like the elephants. I had this feature where you would tear off the corner of each page so you could always know which page you were on. And I did like that, but it did feel a little small. So for example, on a week like this, I really didn't have a lot of room for everything that was happening in my life, and I just had this big mess of things everywhere. So when I went to buy a new planner and when I was joining the planner community, I ended up with several. And today I want to discuss how I've been using those over the past year, because that was really the point where my planning style started changing from scribble, scribble, whatever, to trying to do something more nicely. And I do say trying. Now, one planner that I am not going to talk a lot about in this video, and I'm just going to show it to you briefly, is this one, which I do have a video of me setting up the fun things on the inside cover here. And this planner has always been intended as a kind of writing record. So I'm not going to turn the page here, but right here at the beginning I have a list of different genres and things I've written in those genres. And then on each month I had a submissions calendar, and there was even a point where I was writing every day. Okay, this is how much I wrote today. The last time I was using this was the very beginning of this month. And you see I didn't really write anything. I'd stopped using weekly pages. I was using the monthly a little bit, but overall this was just too many pages for what I was doing with it. So if anything, if I end up having a submissions calendar next year, I think I will probably just buy a large monthly planner and use that to mark down dates that things are due, and also mark down times that I've submitted things that I had to pay a fee for, because that's another way I used this planner. I mean, it's super pretty and I enjoyed having it, and I'll try to continue using this binder format for something. But my inserts are for this year, so they're about to run out, and it did not end up being functional because it was yet another book to carry around with me. So there's that. Now getting on to my regular everyday planning system. I have 3 different books here that I'm going to talk about. And I think I'm going to do them in reverse order of the way you're seeing them here. So I'm going to start with my mini happy planner, which, if you have been watching this channel any prior to now, you will recognize, because I regularly, this is what I make videos in all the time. Over here in the corner, I also have this, which is this same planner, extended. This pink cover and the pink spirals I had picked up because January through June were taking up a lot of space. There's a lot of paper and stickers on each page, and it was getting pretty thick. And I was also about to leave town, and I didn't want to take all of the pretty pages with me because I wanted to be sure nothing happened to them, and I knew I was going to be on the road for a long time, and have things just waiting in my car, blah, blah, blah. So I bought extra covers and extra rings to keep the contents of previous months safe. So I'm just showing that to you right now. This is just you know, pretty storage basically. But getting back to my mini happy planner, which you are very familiar with its original cover, original rings here. I now only have July through December in here. And as I record this video, it is October and I am behind on October, so this is the only October spread I have. I have not posted the video of this spread yet, but you can look forward to it coming up soon. Anyway, this planner, and I mentioned this in a previous video, is not exactly a functional planner for me. This is really like a hobby planner, in that using it is a hobby. Coming in here and playing with paper and making my week look all neat and aligned when it in fact did not really feel that way, has been a fun thing that I've done this past year of making these videos. And I have committed to, you know, planning out every week. So even though I fell behind, I am still in the process of catching up on weeks that I missed and uploading those videos gradually. So again, you can expect those to keep coming. But I think mainly part of it was I wanted to challenge myself and see, could I do this for a year? And did I want to do this for a year? And it's been really fun, and it's been a different kind of creativity that I haven't been utilizing as much, because as a writer and an educator, I do spend a lot of time thinking about, well, how can I present materials to other people? How can I, you know, say what I want to say through the form and the words that I'm using in all my writing. But I don't spend a lot of time thinking, how can I make this look pretty? So I'm getting to exercise the artistic look pretty side when I play with this planner, which I think really is an accurate verb for it. This is just something I play with. The next planner I want to show you, it's kind of funny to show it and talk about it because, I mean, you clearly see this is in fact a planner. It's a Day Designer. It was from Target. But I do not actually use this as a planner. So I don't have a lot of pages in here that I can show because it's full of a lot of personal information. You'll see what I mean in a moment when I get to good pages. Okay, so I'm gonna just turn here as a representative spread. This planner I bought and realized that it was not for the time period I wanted it to be. I bought it last fall and I thought that it was going to be a January to December 2017 planner. However, it was a July to June 2017 planner. And I did order this online because they weren't in my local Target, and I realized after I got it in that I was dumb. I think I may even have talked about it in the video where I hauled this originally, which was one of my very first videos, if not my very first video. It may have been my first video, which is kind of hilarious. But anyway, so I was like, well, great, now I have this thing, and what do I do with it? It's just like, what do I do? I have been using this just like it's a notebook. So I turn a new page, I write whatever I want on it. I disregard this format of, like, as you can see here I have this long list. This, like, you know, thinking through what's happening. Over here on the left, you're actually getting to peek into my, what happens when I'm about to plan in my mini happy planner. And I'll talk about that too in a minute. But basically, I used to have a list notebook, is I guess kind of what I called it. And it was a notebook that I didn't particularly like. The paper was really weird. And so I didn't care about just jotting a thing down, and when I was done with that page, I'd draw a big line across it, like, nope, X, done with that. And it was actually really useful. I kept a lot of things in there. And so this notebook is performing a similar function, this planner that I use as a notebook. And all these different colored tabs I have here at the top are just indicating to me pages that I am not done with. and the pages that I am actually done with don't have a tab approach on them. So for example, the how do I approach my revisions, I already figured out what I was doing here, and so I don't have a thing because I don't need to reference it anymore. However, this page down here, I will put in the description of another week and still use this space so it's still got a flag so I can come back to it. So yeah, talking about what's going on here. This planner notebook is the in-between stage from this guy into this guy. So at the end of a week, I will look back through what I've written in my week. Well, I mean, and this is the way I've been doing it lately because of memory planning. This is not always how I did this, but lately, since I am behind on everything, I will see what my week was like in this planner. I will pick out the highlights on each day and write them down on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday in a box on here. And then I will have this open off to the side as I am flipping to this planner and recording things. So y'all never see this page, but it's always off here to the side, or really more in this corner. For my reference as I decide, okay, where am I going to put a sticker, blah, 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 blah. So that is my second planner that I don't use as a planner. And lastly, we have a big ol' honkin' Recollections planner, which I was super excited to purchase, to the point where I bought it when it, ooh, sorry camera, where it wasn't super on sale. It was just kind of on sale. Shortly after this video, I'll be posting a more in-depth kind of review of this planner and my experience with it. But just to show you, I will say, you're going to see at the side there are these pink sticky notes, which is not my normal system of using this planner. The pink sticky notes are just for me to turn to as I talk to you to know, okay, these are pages that I think are safe, because there is a lot of personal information in my planner. No surprise there. So, turning in, I skip a bunch of the opening pages of this planner, and I'll show you, like, so an example monthly spread. At this time, I was tracking different types of exercise that I was doing with different colored pencil checks, and I had my little key over here. And then I just have a thing about keeping fruit stickers, so whenever I would eat an apple or buy bananas or something, I stick them sometimes on that day or over here in the sidebar. Don't get a lot of use, I don't refer a lot to my monthly spread, so that's kind of what I ended up doing here. Our next tab that I've put in here is an example week. It's actually a pretty light week compared to many other weeks that I have in this planner. But you see my system in my real everyday planner, this being the thing that goes everywhere with me. The huge one goes everywhere with me, defying all logic of like, oh, I'll buy this small one. I was supposed to be able to bring my mini happy planner everywhere with me, and it was going to be great. And then I was like, this is way too small. So then I turned to this bad boy. Anyway, yes, this is an example of a week. I have this system where I write down all the things I need to do that day. If I've done them, I place a check next to it. If I'm like, never mind, this didn't happen, I don't want to do this anymore, or whatever, for whatever reason, if I want to take something off that day, I'll squiggle through it, because you can still kind of see what it was. So for example, if there's something that I'm trying to get done and I don't want to guilt myself into the fact that I didn't do it, I'll keep squiggling through and rewriting it on the next day. However, if I do want to guilt myself into doing it, I draw a circle next to it, because that means on this day, out of these items, this was the thing I never did. So this day I was supposed to go get, I believe, get Office means Microsoft Office, and I did not make it there to do that thing. So there was a circle next to it, and I did it eventually, but I guess I didn't really do it this week because I never checked it off. And so then at the end of, notes and thoughts, these will be like, oh, here's some general things I need to do over this week. And there was even a time at the beginning of using this planner where I used weekly goals. as actual weekly goals. That's not really how I use this section anymore. This bottom section, I'm just like, I will write whatever across here. I don't pay any attention. And there was even a time also that I used to like write, oh, there's, you know, I put ice cream over here in this little box because I was like, oh, this is a fun thing and I'm going to set it apart and make it stand out. But I don't even do that now. Now I'm just like, whatever, I can just write wherever I want on this day. Let's see. Right here I have an example of how I end up using the notes page at the end of the month and even some of the monthly dividers. Some of the monthly dividers have words on them, but when they don't, I tend to fill them all up with things like journals that I'm submitting to, again, a writer. And then I have all kinds of random notes from meeting with my advisor. I've got sticky notes covering up some kind of like personal things that I don't want people to read. But yeah, so I am not about keeping this looking pretty so much as like I'm going to use every available page. Let's see, here's another sample monthly spread where in here I was actually had a goal for word count, or you know, just to write every day, and so I'm including a word count. No, it was Camp NaNoWriMo, that's what's happening. But I put in a daily word count of however much I wrote that day. I did not reach I got a little less than halfway to this goal for the month, but that was an additional thing I put on my monthly spread, so that looks kind of cool. Flipping all the way into now, I'll talk a little about how I'm currently using the monthly spread. I basically have one mode of exercise right now, and that's walking. And so I'm recording every day how much I walk for. Again, we've got me keeping the fruit stickers. And since, you know, basically the first couple weeks of the year, I have been using this, oh gosh, what's the word for this thing? All of a sudden I don't remember what it's called. A binder clip. I've been using this binder clip from Recollections, which has this kind of random floral pattern on it. And I think that this clip actually matches the color scheme of this entire planner fairly well. And I'll show you from the top. It's huge. It takes up a lot of space. So when I like grab this out of my bag and I need to find the week I'm on, it is super easy to turn to that week because this clip is so big. And what I will do is I will put this clip on, you know, this side is always the monthly spread, but the other side is on the week that I'm on. So I can flip back and forth to, oh, this is my month, to record my exercise. Basically, that's the only use I have for this, or to stick a fruit sticker, and then to add in other details of the week. Yeah, so then, you know, I just have a couple months left in this. I'm not going to show you any of the notes pages at the back, though there are several of different types. If you recall the, you know, flip through videos that everybody does, because there is, you know, information on those pages I don't want to share. Of course, there were these stickers at the back, which I've used some of them in a spread that I showed you in my mini happy planner. And then I have been using this folder here at the back and this little clear pocket. I just put in some random things I like from art things, that like exhibits I've been to, and then there's this like Sailor Moon card that I had found somewhere. Don't use these dashboards at the front and the back really for anything. There's one here also. But yes, so like I said, this is the planner that goes everywhere with me. This is my like to-do list book, and this is just for fun. So I'm going to stop there with talking about my planning system, but this is to be continued in a kind of part 2 separate video I'm going to upload. I'm going to give a more in-depth review, my thoughts on this big Recollections planner, and talk more about my planning dilemma for this upcoming year. So I hope that you will click to watch part 2, but if not, I hope you enjoyed me sitting here talking about the planning system that has evolved for me over the course of the past year. I'll see you in part 2, maybe. If not, Have an awesome day.